Hello.
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 Good evening.
Good afternoon.
And good night if I don't see you.
Just in case.
Welcome to the September 17th edition of the not fourth, but third person podcast.
Sorry, having mic issues.
I'm Matthew.
I'm Sean.
I'm Shannon.
How was your week?
It was a week.
Thanks.
You're welcome. Anytime.
Don't bother to elaborate or anything.
Well, we started.
It is a talk show.
What? It is? I couldn't tell.
You know, you've got a face for radio and a voice for TV.
What?
Exactly.
My week was very long. Felt really slow. Even today felt like just dragged on.
Well, you drove today. How
Yeah.
was Indy?
It was indie. We went to a restaurant called Hopcat, I think. Hopcat. They had a pretty good burger. Smash burgers is what they're called.
Oh, yeah.
And they used to have a type of fry called crack fries, but they had to rename them because they got in trouble for it. So now they're cosmic fries. They were
got in
really
trouble
good.
for it, or was just
The restaurant kind of.
misinterpreted?
Well, no, that's what they were meant. They were meant to be seen as.
But,
That's why they were called crack fries.
They're good, like
They're-
you
yeah.
can't quit them like crack. I got you.
But that's what they were called, and then
Right.
they changed it to cosmic fries.
That's funny.
But they were really good. They have a really good, cheesy garlic aioli thing. You
Are
dip
they
them in.
addicting?
Nah.
Yeah.
I mean, they're really good fries, but, I had to stop at some point.
Were they McDonald's good?
And
Are you joking right now?
A little bit. McDonald's has good fries when they just come out.
Yeah, they're good for about 5 minutes. 7 minutes, sorry.
Sure.
is that what they say?
That's the 7-minute rule.
Yeah.
How was your week?
Good. Long. Good. Not too long. Not too much overtime this week. So.
We all live very exciting lives.
Yes, we do.
Right.
There was something I wanted to say about it. I don't remember. Anyway, if you're watching, we are later than normal. Thank you for checking us out, and don't forget to hit the thumbs up, and
Follow, subscribe, hit
like.
the bell.
Make number go up.
Number go up.
Yeah, there we go.
Good thing.
Like, subscribe, yeah, all that good stuff. Share. You can even share. I know I'm not a big one for sharing, but I'm not one of these guys that share when I'm watching. But if you're that kind of person, help us out.
If you
Tell your
want.
friends, tell your
Tell your
family,
family.
tell your estranged cousins. Okay, what do we
How do you
have?
tell them if they're estranged?
I don't know.
Okay.
Track them down to tell them about us.
All right.
What do we have today?
Stuff.
Stuff that is
Yes.
in the listing for today's stuff.
Yeah. Let's see. We can give a little rundown of what we plan on talking about today.
Okay,
Plus
so
whatever comes up.
looks like we've got some talk about some aliens. We've got looks like we're going to talk about the UAW strike, some changes that Unity has made, and an incident on an airplane, and I don't know what that one is. It just says planes, boats, cars, bikes.
That's about a guy running from the cops,
Oh.
using all forms of modes of transportation.
Oh, really? Exciting.
I believe he even went for a swim. Yes.
Just a casual swim?
Yeah.
All right. So let's get started with these aliens.
All right.
If I can
Go in deep with the aliens.
All right.
There is a video.
There is a video.
There is a video.
All right. Well, let's transfer over to this little scene here. All right. A close encounter with the alien bodies
You
in
can actually
Mexico.
just play the video.
What's the fun in that?
Well, because then we can pause it and say stuff. You muted it.
I thought I
which were shared around the world this week, are now the subject of much controversy. For Jaime Maussan, a Mexican journalist and longtime UFO enthusiast, the alien-looking forms are among the most important discoveries in the history of humankind. But for many scientists, they are an
Look at that
already
little guy.
debunked, perhaps even criminal stunt. Masson gained instant
Pause
international
it.
attention when he stood before Mexico's
They are tiny little.
They are
They are-
tiny. They are little men.
Yes. Yeah,
They are
They're
so
tiny, and they
small.
were found in Mexico. So I'm thinking maybe there's some crossbreeding, and that's why we get short Mexicans.
Do we know how tall the Mayans were?
The Mexicans,
The
they're about
Mayans?
5 foot.
Not what I meant, but
No,
all right,
I'm
we'll
sorry.
go with that.
The Mayans. How would I know how tall the Mayans?
Exactly. Maybe
I,
they were
well,
only
no,
2
I
feet
saw that
tall.
one movie. Wasn't that who made that movie? It was a movie about the Mayans, where like they didn't even speak English in the movie. Like the whole movie was like there's a net
I have an answer for the Mayans, by the way.
Yeah, how tall were they?
So the men average around only 5'2", and
Oh
women
yeah, okay. So
4
that's
feet
they're
8.
way taller than this.
here. Okay, so Mexican.
Mayans are Mexican.
Just saying, you don't see many Mexican basketball players.
Hmm?
Is that true?
What? Yes, that's true. I know you don't watch basketball.
I don't.
I mean, really,
Do I?
neither do I. But
I know some basics about it, and I don't see many Mexicans.
who's that guy? I was just going over to mute that. Who was the guy?
I'm sorry.
Oh,
That was loud for us too.
yes, that was loud.
Holy yourself then.
What is who's the guy? Oh, I can't even talk. I can't think. Been a long day. Holiday World today. He was in the buddy cop movie.
That does not help.
I know it doesn't help. I can't think tonight. And I was a director. He got in some trouble, but then he made a movie about Jesus Christ. And he made a movie about it was about the Mayans. I forget what it was called.
Still does
Why
not
can't I
help.
think of this guy's name? I can't even think of the name of the movie. Hold on. I'm gonna go ahead, talk amongst yourselves.
Great. So, aliens. Are they real? The Mexican
According
government.
to Mexican
The Mexican government says they are.
But we all know
Or
that
sorry,
we should
this
believe it.
Mexican journalist and UFO enthusiast.
This is Lethal Weapon. What's his name? You got all the information here, but you don't tell me who's in it.
Mel Gibson.
Yes.
It was just his name was just up there at the beginning of that little clip.
Mel Gibson. Mel Gibson did a movie about the Mayans.
Did he?
Or the Incas. One of those.
The Mayans are the one who predicted the end of the world.
As we know it.
No, that's
The
REM.
end of the world as we
REM
know
did
it.
that one.
So I don't know if this is going to have the one. He did the Passion of the Christ, but he did. I'm
Okay.
pretty sure he did one. Apocalypto. I think that was it.
Apocalypto.
Right? I don't know if that was it. I'm pretty sure that was
Looks like it.
Yeah, the Mayan kingdom. Yeah. Anyway, that was a tangent for nothing.
That
But
really
that
was.
like
that
he
was-
filmed the whole movie like they were speaking like there was like no English in it. At least when it first came out. I think eventually it did like a dubbed version, but
Neat.
yes,
Cool. Let's learn more about these little
All right.
alien men.
the little alien man from
Congress
Mexico.
just days ago and presented the two figures. He shared scientific analysis and
Stop.
study results.
This looks like E.T. That's just E.T.
That looks like a movie prop from E.T.
Not even. It looks like a third grade. It looks like a science project, like
It
Plaster-
looks like a clay
the
sculpture.
plaster of Paris, or what is that? Or no, the paper mache. It looks like paper mache.
It
yes.
does. Little paper mache E.T. So cute. Look at his
And
little
the-
nose.
And like the
His
mouth would just
mouth,
like no teeth, no.
it's just a slit.
it's just,
Same with the eyes.
There's no jaw. It's just
yeah,
hilarious.
and a cute little nose.
I love him.
What is he made of? Play-Doh?
He argues
paper mache.
prove the bodies are about 1,000 years old and not related
Also,
to any known earthly
Look at the pelvis
species.
region.
That's kind of what pelvic bones look like. They're kind of weird.
Not that weird.
That's a hippie guy. Those are birthing hips.
Mm.
Maybe it's a girl. You got
It's also
birthing
from
hips.
1,000 years ago.
Yeah, in Mexico. Don't judge him. It's literally like 3 feet tall.
Looks more like 2 feet tall.
It is tiny.
Reuters gained exclusive access to his office to see them. The bodies appear ancient and share
in a shoebox.
characteristics with
Bodies.
humans.
There's 2 of
Masson
them.
claims they were found around 2017 in Peru.
Porque es lo más importante que le ha pasado a la humanidad.
It
Are we
is the
just not
most
learning about this
important
then?
thing that is.
Does he have himself as his wallpaper? Like, what am I looking at here?
Yes.
I don't know if that's wallpaper or if that's just like a recording.
It's like in Spaceballs. He's watching the video of his life. He
in
fast
front of
forwarded to what's next.
He's in front of 3 of them. Didn't they say they only found 2?
I thought there was only 2. I didn't watch the whole video.
That does look like 3 though.
Happen to humanity because it's the opportunity for us to evolve, for us to grow, for us to maybe initiate communication with other intelligences. I
We
think
have
this
3.
phenomenon
We have
is
corpses.
the only.
How are we going to communicate?
I mean,
It's
didn't
not
we always-
exactly like he had a cell phone in his pocket.
Yeah, I mean, haven't we been like broadcasting radio waves into space for a
I'm
while
pretty sure we
now?
sent
Yeah.
a probe into like
Purposely
deep space
and
just
on
full of
purpose.
stuff.
Purposely.
I mean, we have like a deep space probe that has like that golden record, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
But we also get the SETI program where they listen, but they also send out transmissions. I
Yeah,
believe
probably. I would
it's
believe
SETI, I
that
think.
100%.
The Search for Extraterrestrial Intelligence. I can't talk tonight.
The search for extraterrestrial intelligence.
Yes, that one.
Only one that gives us the opportunity to come together.
But the backlash from the
together
scientific community came just
right
as swiftly
now.
as Masson's newfound fame,
Over
with
me.
scientists and archaeologists in Peru calling the bodies a farce. Reuters correspondent
I love the
Cassandra
word farce.
Garrison spoke
Why are they
to Masson
standing on a
about
green screen?
That is a good question. Like, why are we
That is-
conducting
Who
this
holds a
research?
press conference on a green screen
But
if you're
we're-
not going to put something there? Like, if you're
Apparently
going to put something
Mexicans.
there,
We are conducting scientific research. Make sure the entire room's green.
yeah, we want to make
Just-
sure no one.
Just the 3/4
We
cut.
want to make sure no one can crop this out later. Make it really hard. Put a green screen there.
his research.
And he told me that the scientific analysis and data studies that he's been presenting this
Highly
entire week
classified.
actually were done on a different body that remains in Peru. And the 2 bodies that he presented here in Mexico, he's not done scientific analysis on, saying that he didn't want to damage the specimens. And I think that could
Okay, so
potentially
there's
change
3
the-
bodies. They tested one, kept the other 2 pristine. Gotcha. I don't know why that she finds that skeptical. Our government does all that kind of crap all the time.
They're in mint condition, still in the box.
Still in the literally, it's like a shoebox.
They're collector's edition little men.
conversation. But we had scientists independently review the results who told us that they do not represent anything out of the ordinary and certainly
aliens.
indicate normal life on Earth.
Masson is no stranger
Look at that little guy.
Yeah, he
That's
doesn't
just
look
a
like
statue.
he doesn't
That's
look
a
like
statue.
ET.
I love it. Just a little statue, but he looks so freaky.
But
That's not what I wanted.
what is their problem with? Or not their problem with. So we're to believe scientists when they say this study's false, but all their COVID stuff was BS. Just saying.
I'm saying I'm never going to trust any government, no matter what they say.
Well, I mean, I'm trusting a little bit of it.
Maybe a little. But not.
Trust, but no, verify.
Yeah.
Before trust. Okay.
controversy, having participated in a 2017 documentary that appeared to feature doctored mummies. As to how these 2 bodies arrived in Mexico from Peru, that's a question Masson says he can't answer. According to him, a man brought the remains to the country and Masson asked permission to present them to Mexico's Congress.
How do you get through customs with that?
You're telling me that some guy just showed up and said, "Yo, I got these from Peru.
Yes.
Isn't this cool?"
He found them in his basement. He was
What?
doing a deep clean on his basement.
And then these two little men from Peru
No,
just
3.
showed up.
3 little men.
3.
Well, no, the one is still in Peru.
If there's still 3.
Yeah, but he only showed up with 2. the ones in Peru.
But the move has angered Peruvian officials, who have filed a criminal complaint against him. Masson says he's done nothing illegal and welcomes the Peruvian government to investigate the figures.
She said figures.
I don't think she believes it herself.
Probably not.
So I think the big deal with this is that these bodies have already been debunked.
Let the bodies hit the floor.
In fact, they
Bodies
didn't
hit
even
the
hit the floor.
I like how they have, like, he's got, like, they're encased in glass and a lid.
Just to make
Let me
sure.
put the lid back on, so you, just in case you lean on the glass.
Just in case.
So they already debunked it? Is that what you said?
He says he can prove they are unlike anything known on Earth.
I think by looking at them, most of us were pretty much debunking them. I mean,
One of them.
unless when they made ET, they had access to these and totally designed them based on that.
One of them.
Or the old Star Wars. Remember, there's an ET
There
in
is
the
an
Star
ET.
Wars.
That's in the new Star Wars, though. That's in the episode 3.
Yeah.
3?
ET
Or
is in episode
4?
3,
Or
Three.
which is
3.
the
You're right.
sixth
The
movie to
third
come
of the
out.
new. Yeah. In the Congress or whatever.
One of them, described by Masson as a female, was discovered to have eggs inside, he said.
Yes, I've heard they had eggs inside, but I think it's just they have like an X-ray. It says there's eggs, but it's like it doesn't look necessarily hard to fake. Testing conundrum. I like a conundrum.
A Mexican scientist reviewed the results, and they said, this is normal, it's just small.
It's all good.
So they're saying this is just like a
He has
child?
angered Peruvian officials because they don't know how they got to Mexico.
Well, yeah, I'm sure if they think they're real, you would be mad if someone took that out of your country and brought it to Mexico.
No, it's fine. They have one.
They
Still have one. It's
Yeah,
fine.
but you still don't want people just taking what could be world-changing heirlooms out of your country and bringing them to another country. Why would you go to Mexico?
He named the bodies.
ENT?
No, Clara and Mauricio.
I mean, okay.
Good choice. Okay.
Based on the DNA tests, which were compared with more than 1 million species, they are not related to what is known or described up to this moment by science or human knowledge.
But they are, because they look like ET. They're described in ET. They look exactly.
Do we have 1 million species? That's
Probably.
a lot.
Probably. I
Like
mean, there's
more than
bug.
that.
I think bugs have different species too. It's, just by that alone.
The presence of carbon-14 in studies done by UNAM proves that the samples were related to brain and skin tissues from different mummies who died at different times.
So, according to the International Union for Conservation of Nature, there are approximately 8.7 million species.
Okay.
But
Okay.
only like 1.7 of them have been named.
Oh, so we're guessing.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
There's still like 75% of the ocean we haven't thought out fully. So.
Yeah, and the ocean can stay uncharted. I'd rather go to space than the ocean.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Fun fact.
Space
Fun
is
fact?
probably
Yeah.
safer.
Probably the ocean. We don't know what's in the
NASA
ocean. There could be
was
Godzilla
originally-
down there.
NASA originally was documenting things about the ocean, and then they switched to space.
Yeah, and whatever scared them scares me too.
Ocean is not in their initials. It's literally
Air and
National
Space.
Air and Space. Whatever.
But I have heard that they were looking at the ocean and
Well, they're
this
always
for a
looking at
while.
the ocean. But yeah,
All right.
very dangerous.
Ocean is scary. All right, what is this about the UAW strike? This is the
The
automotive
United
workers?
Auto Workers, Ford, GM, and what used to be Chrysler is now Stellantis, I believe.
Stellantis.
Yes.
Interesting name change.
Yes.
Yeah, the Chrysler's parent, Stellantis.
Yeah. The union's asking for, and I've been following this because I work in the industry. So the union, I'm not in the union, but the union is asking for 40% pay raises, 46 if you do the compounded annually
Four-day
thing.
work week?
Well, I mean, okay,
4-day
four-day
work
work week makes sense with that big of a pay increase because you're
Well, no,
working
they want a
less.
4-day work week, still getting 40 hours.
Oh,
We're getting paid 40 hours. They want a 32-hour work week, but getting paid for 40 hours. Which
That's
I don't see them getting that, but that's
No.
what they want. Yeah, exactly. I mean, if they do that, it'll be much better for Toyota. So, because they're going to fall behind on their production. There's a video on this one at the top
you
too.
need to ask for 40% pay increase. Jesus.
I would like a 40% pay increase.
I
Well-
have it just like $5.
Well, inflation last year was like 9 point something. So I mean, 10% a year. Their contract is for 4 years, I believe. So if 10% a year, that's keeping up with current inflation.
Mm-hmm.
I actually did the math on my income since I started there in May of last year, and I'm barely like since May of last year to the end of August, inflation was like 6 point something. It wasn't at 9 something, but it was 6 point something, and my pay went up like 6, whatever the inflation was, plus like another 0.1 or 0.2. So I've barely been keeping up with inflation. Although I got a raise coming up in November, so that'll put me above inflation. But
Hopefully.
inflation, unless inflation takes a giant dump in this month and next month.
Which inflation has never taken a giant dump.
No, never.
All right, let's watch this video here.
All right, so yeah, this is.
We turn
I
now to
believe they do an
United
interview with the
Auto
guy,
Workers
the main guy.
President Sean Fain. Good morning to you, sir. You have said that you had reasonably productive conversations with Ford yesterday. Does that mean they're going to put a more generous offer on the table?
Pause. Wait for it. No, I'm saying.
Oh, I love
I-
on news stories the pause between when one person finishes
Yes.
and the person on the other end of the call is just like,
Yeah.
it's hilarious.
Yeah, there's a delay.
Stream delay. It exists.
So before he starts, so Ford and GM, I think all three have offered 20% raises, and I know at least Ford, if not all of them, have offered. It's a 20% raise with 10% of it like immediately, and another 10% over the 4-year contract, which I don't blame them for turning down because you're not keeping up with inflation
No,
at that
not
point.
at all.
That's less than you get the 10% now, which just makes up for last year, and then 10% over 4 years. That's
That's
2.5%.
about 2.5% a year.
And that's baloney. Yeah.
Good morning. Thanks for having us. And,
You're welcome.
that's up to
He
them.
spells his name wrong,
That's,
Sean.
the reason we're in this situation right
Unbelievable.
now is because all
get
three
that
of the
banana
big three
thing.
companies chose to wait. They chose not to negotiate for the 8 weeks we had. We started this back in July, and we told them then, don't wait till the last minute or you're going to find yourself in a bad position. And unfortunately, they chose to wait till the last week to get down and start talking, to get serious about this, and that's where we are now. And if we don't get better offers and we don't get down and take care of the members' needs, then we're going to amp this thing up even more.
Well, you said progress is slow. Will you order strikes at additional plants this week? Are you preparing for that?
We're prepared to do whatever we have to do. So the membership is ready. The membership is fed up. We're fed up with falling behind. It's been decades of falling behind, and especially this past decade, in the most wealthiest times in the history of these companies. There is no excuse. These companies have made $250 billion in the last 10 years, $21 billion in the last 6 months alone, and our workers' wages and conditions have went backwards.
You're asking for 36% pay raises, our reporter just laid out there. Stellantis
Must have
said
lowered it.
they've offered 21%. What are you expecting into tomorrow's negotiation with them? That seems forward movement.
We've asked for 40% pay increases, and the reason we asked for 40% pay increases is because in the last 4 years alone, the CEO pay went up 40%. They're already millionaires.
Right.
It's shameful that one of the leaders of one of the corporations sitting in his second home in Acapulco while we're bargaining, rather than being at the bargaining table. And so, you know, our demands are just, we're asking for our fair share in this economy and the fruits of our labor.
So 21% is a no-go for you?
It's definitely a no-go, and we've made that very clear to the companies.
So,
Uh,
pause. I really wish the interviewers would not ask short questions that have short answers. When there's you know there's a built-in delay. Ask a detailed question. Make it worth
the time.
You don't want the downtime to be as long as the answer.
No.
And or the question. I mean, the question and the answer are both short on that. But yeah, so they've offered like 21%, and that's obviously that's not enough. I don't blame them. I'm rooting for them because if their pay goes up, my pay's going to go up. So
I'm rooting for them because I think everyone should go down to a 4-day work week.
I do like the 4-day work week.
There's scientific studies for the 4-day work week.
Yeah.
For a 32-hour work week.
Yeah, but
there's studies for that being the most efficient usage of people's time.
I feel like
energy.
that's one of those studies that you could look at it. You could probably interpret the data in a lot of ways. Like,
I mean,
depending on what your motive is, you know what I mean.
But I mean, think like the 40 hours a week.
The 5-day work week isn't that long either. Like,
no, it's
the
not
5-day work week, I
long.
believe, started in like the 60s.
I know the
5-day work week
40-hour
started
work
with,
week.
It was like
The 40-hour work week.
I think
started,
Ford actually started.
It was during the Industrial Revolution time frame when they were fighting for factory workers to not be killed.
When unions really played an important role.
And what the 40 hours turned into, like the government saying you cannot work someone more than 40 hours a week without giving them that additional pay.
Right. Which is totally agree with that.
So like that's set as a maximum, and now it's seen as like the absolute standard. It's like, I don't know, if you can pay someone like a livable amount a week for 32 hours, I mean if you only have to work 4 days a week.
But yeah, I have no problem with that. I do have a problem with them asking for still getting paid for 40 hours. It's like, well, no, that's not how that works.
I wouldn't want,
unless you give them a bigger raise and pay them for 32 hours, and it still works out to the same amount.
Yeah, that's what I would assume.
Don't make it like this. We're working 32. We're getting paid for 40. Well,
I don't want to see 40 hours on my paycheck, but I don't want to see my paycheck go down.
Right. Exactly.
But I can probably be, people would be a lot more productive with a shorter week where they know they're going to have more time to themselves, for their family and friends.
Yeah.
They're going to be more productive for your company.
Yeah,
overall.
I can see that. I forget what I was going to say.
What were you going to say?
I don't know.
An added bonus for the companies, and then if they need you to work that 5th day, it's not really overtime. It's just 8 extra hours.
Sure. I've never been a big union guy, but there's several reasons I'm for them, and not just personal. Like, jobs in the auto industry have traditionally been high-paying, like upper middle class kind of jobs.
Yeah, you don't struggle on it.
Right. They've been sought after. Like, that's usually even though they're just basic assembly line jobs, it's always
the car companies.
They've been considered a good job. People seek after them, especially people without college degrees. That's a you've made it kind of deal.
Yeah.
But the problem I see is, I mean, just and going back further, I'm sure, but even since I've started in the auto industry, our pay has gone up a little bit, not a lot. Basically, like I said, barely keeping pace with inflation.
Mm-hmm.
But the pay for the jobs that are considered lower, like retail, fast food, that kind of stuff, which is considered lower pay, maybe like low middle class type jobs, starter jobs, that kind of thing.
Kind of job you can't support a family on.
Their pay has gone up dramatically in the past 5 years. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'll give the 5 years. Yeah.
Since COVID, yeah, because they can't find workers, so they keep increasing their starting pay.
Maybe when their pay gets to a livable point.
So I mean, you go back even say 5 years ago, the starting pay for like McDonald's was
like $8.
less than $10 an hour.
Yeah.
I'm sure right now you could go get a job. Well, you've got experience. You could go to McDonald's.
I think he could go to
You
McDonald's
could get a job.
and get
you
a job
can,
at like
you
12.
can go right into management.
Yeah, I could probably get right into management.
But
because
When
I
I
have
was
the
looking at
experience.
how about freight, I was making like $12.50 an hour.
Yeah.
Right, so I'm sure.
Retail and food workers are in slightly different scenarios. I feel like the
Yeah,
food
but the
workers
pay
are.
scale's about the
The,
same.
the pay is about the same though.
I feel like food workers are just slightly behind, but they're about the same.
Yeah. So the only difference is some retail stuff they have sales incentives like
Sure.
stuff. So $12 at Harbor Freight. I mean that's good money for a basic retail job.
I mean, you go looking for a first job type beat now, and like you're not gonna realistically take anything under $10.
Right. Oh yeah. I
Yeah.
wouldn't even look at anything like even with zero experience. I wouldn't look at anything probably under $12.
Yeah, because at this point,
And I've heard
that's-
stories of places hiring like there's another Panda Express in Evansville. I heard they're starting at like 17.
Yeah, well, I
for
mean,
crew.
Evansville higher cost of living.
Yeah, but I mean that's
Still.
so when you consider like what it was 5 years ago, say maybe $10 and under for retail, fast food, that
Yeah.
kind of stuff, which is like half of what they're starting at. Like a major automaker, they're starting around 20. It's a little over 20 now, but so say 5 years ago it was 20. So now, like you can get a job at Panda Express. You know, since 5 years ago, auto industry pay has gone up maybe $3 to starting pay, and their pay has doubled.
Yeah.
So you're narrowing that gap. So and that's why
Which I mean could be seen as a good thing.
it could, but it's not the way.
It's not the way
It's not good for our economy.
Yes, it's not good for the way our
You
economy.
can't
is
all
structured.
be making
The same amount.
good money, like, because that's why our inflation's ridiculous. Because someone's working a counter at Panda Express making $17 an hour. I mean, I'm all for people making more money, but it's not sustainable because there has to be people making less money so that other stuff costs less. Like that's why I can't go to McDonald's now and get a value meal for less than $15.
Yeah.
I mean, that's you can't, like when you guys were kids and we'd go to McDonald's, I would feed all 5 of us for like maybe $30, and that's if everybody got a meal. But if you get like everybody got a sandwich and we split a couple fries and then drinks, it was $20-$25. And now if 5 people go to McDonald's,
You're looking at probably $50-$60.
yeah, it's crazy. I couldn't imagine trying to feed a family getting $12, like getting $12 an hour trying to feed, if you have a family trying to feed a family. I couldn't even imagine that. But that's why those jobs aren't really supposed to be support your family kind of jobs. They're supposed to be retired people or kids in school. I mean, there's a reason why they don't pay much. Well, I mean, the restaurant industry is not a high profit.
No,
It's a very
I think,
slim margin.
I think most sales companies like in the service industry are pretty much in the black like all the year.
Right.
Like they barely ever pop
Well,
up in a profit.
Yeah. Well, retail, they make all their money in the holiday season.
Yeah, especially
So
around
they
Black Friday.
lose money 9 months 10 months out of the year, and they make money in the last 2 months.
Yeah,
out of the
but
year.
it kind of makes up for it.
Yeah. But so I mean, I do think there needs to be a separation there because for the economy really, and the fact that those aren't supposed to be support your family kind of jobs, and I think a lot of people are using those for that. And I don't know if I don't want to call it like laziness or something, as far as finding a better paying job, I don't know. I don't know if that makes sense.
It does, but I mean, I don't know. I've still seen that a lot of companies are giving like prospective applicants and stuff like they're still actually being really picky about who they hire. Like I have not seen a lot of reports of like people easily finding better jobs. I mean, that just might be what I've seen personally. I don't obviously I don't know everything.
I know going back to the last big hiring push, like at Toyota, I mean, they were hiring anybody, pretty much anybody who walked in the door. I know this time around they're hiring again. They're being a lot more selective. Like Sean had a friend who went in, and they said they couldn't, and they didn't pass the test. Like back when we were hired in, I didn't hear of anybody not passing the test. Like they pretty much took everybody. So I could see. I think companies are starting to kind of tighten down. Like you go back right after COVID, companies were hiring anybody and everybody.
Yeah.
And I can see them kind of pulling
They,
that back.
they've really
But
slowed down on that.
there's still a shortage of workers. I mean, you
But
still
the companies still aren't hiring.
like, yeah, you go to places like Denny's, like 90% of the Denny's I see are still not 24 hours again, like they were.
Yeah.
Even Walmart's aren't 24 hours again.
I
Well,
mean-
I don't think Walmart's is necessarily a staffing issue. I think they just
I
figured.
think they just made that
I think
decision.
they used COVID as an excuse to cut off their 24 hours.
Yeah, they probably weren't making much money. I mean, I still
Yeah.
miss going to Walmart at 3 in the morning. But that's a personal thing.
Yeah.
I think obviously probably not the case for all of them, but I think there are definitely some companies who are using the shortage, like
Oh,
they're using it as
definitely.
an excuse to push like their 3 employees to be way more productive.
Oh, yeah.
And
It's like
come on.
you see it like hotels, like they do not do daily housekeeping anymore.
No.
I'm like, right after COVID, I get it, but like COVID's over. Like, you can clean the rooms every day.
You can hire people again. Some people saw the amount their profit went up when they had less employees, and
Yes.
they do not want to let go.
Oh yeah.
And it's like, dude, come on.
Yeah.
But they still use the excuse of we're understaffed. You can hire someone.
And even like I heard stories of like 4 and 5 star restaurant hotels, places especially in cities that have room service, like a full kitchen room service.
Mhm.
And it used to be you'd order breakfast or whatever for room service, and they would bring up a whole tray with like real utensils, real plates and stuff. And a lot of places
Are
now
they still using disposable utensils?
yeah, it's a 4-star restaurant in like New York City is the place I heard about, and like yeah, you order something, breakfast or whatever, and it comes up in bags with plastic utensils. it's like no, I'm paying $300-400 a night. And the plus, room service isn't cheap either.
I want you to come in with that
Yeah.
cart, take the metal dome off.
Yeah.
I want the whole thing.
Which is 5 years ago, that's what it was still.
Like
and even
companies-
like airplanes, like first class in airplanes now, I've heard are the same way. So you don't get nearly the level of
service.
what you used to get, quality and service. And yeah, it's one of those things that went away with COVID. It just never came back.
Yeah, because the companies decided if we don't bring it back, maybe they won't notice, and we can keep making those extra $2.
Yeah, a lot of that. Yeah, I believe that definitely. Which
No, I mean like per meal. I mean, if they're just giving you disposable utensils, they're
Yeah.
really not saving that much. But they don't care if they see a penny
Yeah.
of profit. They're eating it up.
yeah, and the meals which used to be, I mean, even not even first class, even regular, like on a long flight, you used to get a decent meal on an airplane, which you don't now. It's like you get peanuts and soda. So
I mean, I don't know if it counts as a long flight. I mean, I don't remember getting an actual meal when we flew back home from California.
no,
And that
I don't
was
think we
before
got one going
COVID.
out either.
And that was before COVID.
Yeah, but I don't know if that's.
Like that was like almost 5 years before
I don't
COVID.
remember what they had.
They had like peanuts and crackers and stuff, and like they had drink service.
Peanuts and Cracker Jacks. I don't care if I. I'm sorry.
I mean, I didn't really look to like I didn't ask about food, but I don't remember there really
I don't
being
remember there
anything.
being food either. But
There
I
were
don't remember
snacks.
if there was an option.
There was snacks.
There were
and
snacks,
drinks.
definitely.
There was
They would
snacks.
come by and say, "You want some snacks?
I don't
We got
think they
this."
actually gave us an option.
Ice makers.
It's okay.
Oh,
Hey,
wow.
but the lights are on.
Remember
Yeah,
one thing
that's-
one week, forget another thing the next. It's
Yeah.
fantastic.
Do you remember
21st night.
when we went to San Francisco and we flew out
Well, I wasn't with you when you flew out.
well, you were with us when we flew back though.
Yes.
Like they would come by and if you wanted, if you got that little cup for your soda, the little plastic cup,
Along
And-
the can.
No, because they wouldn't leave the can. They would just pour the. It's like just leave the can.
When I was flying by myself between Salt Lake and here, they would just leave the can with me.
When we flew from Chicago to San Francisco, the first 1 or 2 times that they came by, and I'm like, wanted more soda. Yeah, she would just pour the can and then set it like the next person who wanted soda, they would pour the rest of the can. I'm like, no, just leave the can.
I'm pretty sure when I flew by myself, they just left the can.
I started after the first or second time, I don't remember. I'd ask him I'm like, would you like a refill? I'm like, can I just get the can? I'm like, just leave the can because as soon as you walk away, this will be gone and I'll need more.
I'm a very thirsty person.
I am a thirsty person. I had something I wanted to say, but I forget what it was.
Of course.
It's been a weekend. Yeah. So I believe, like I said earlier, I've never really been a big union person. I had a union experience when I was about your age, maybe your age. I was low 20s. Celia was born. I think it was just Celia. I don't think either of you were born yet. I got a second job at a supermarket in New Jersey. It was stocking shelves at night. I think I was still working at the hospital at the time. So it was just nights, like 3 days a week, stocking shelves at a supermarket. And Indiana's a right to work state, which means you can't be forced to join a union for a job. New Jersey's not that. If you go work at a place that's a union place in New Jersey, you have to join the union, or else you don't work there.
I thought right to work just meant you could get fired or quit for whatever
That
reason.
too.
Okay,
But it's mostly about the unions.
Okay.
You can't go like Toyota. If we all voted at Toyota, 51% of the people voted we want to start a union. We can't force everybody to start a union. If you're in New Jersey and 51% of the people want a union, everybody's joining the union. So which is why I'm not sure how that would work at Toyota. Like in India, I don't know how that works in India. I know there are unions in Indiana.
I think when the unions negotiate with the company, I think it only benefits the union employees for the most part.
I think the pay is the same. I think the benefits are different. I think the benefits when you're in a union go through the union, whereas the benefits for if you're not in a union would be direct from Toyota. I think I'm not sure.
We're not professionals.
Yeah, but I do see with the way the economy's going and stuff like that, and the pay not being the pays. Let's just call it the pay is out of whack for what the price of goods are.
Yeah,
for reality,
it's not keeping up.
I'm slowly starting to see myself being more and more pro-union. I'm still not like I want a union,
But I mean, if it happens,
because I mean, unions come with a lot of their own BS.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to pay union dues. You've got union people that are over you. It's not like you have all these rights now. You've still
definitely some unions are better than others,
and it's collective bargaining. So it's not like, especially on a big company, it's one thing, but on a smaller company, especially, like you can go in and you can talk to the boss or the owner and make a deal. Like I feel like I deserve more money, this and that. With a big company, you don't. It's just collect whatever 51% of the employees want. That's what everybody gets, kind of thing.
Well, I mean, that's kind of better than not being in a union and you get what the employer gives you.
Yeah, but going back to late 80s, early 90s, or most of the 90s, and even the 2000s, early especially, most employers were taking care of their employees. And that's why I think, like you said about since COVID, they got rid of a lot of quality and people and realized they could make even more money that way. So now they're getting greedy, which I understand companies are supposed to be greedy. That's their purpose is to make money. I get that, but there has to be a balance, or else it all starts to fall apart.
Yeah. Otherwise, the people who are working for you are getting overworked, and they don't want to do it now anymore.
Yeah, there does have to be greed to a point, but there has to be a balance so that you're not taking advantage of your employer.
A happy
employees.
employee is a productive employee, which means everyone gets more money.
Not always.
Oh,
but-
usually.
yes. Most of the
If
time.
I like my job, I'm going to work a little harder at it. You know, I'm going to do
Yes.
just a little bit more, a little bit extra.
So anyway, I am finding myself more and more going towards union side, but
It also
Like I said,
it depends on the company too. You know, like I wouldn't want a union like where I work
Well-
at all. Even if I worked in like a larger office, I wouldn't
Yeah.
want a union for an office job. You know, because I can just take and like walk upstairs, be like, hey, boss.
well, yeah, because I mean, your company's pretty small, so I mean,
Yeah.
especially, but like in unions, the one place that unions incredible as far as I don't know what you call that is like construction people.
And the railway union, I think.
Yeah, but not even that so much because that's still like a large employer. But I mean, the construction union's completely different. Like, because the construction guys go from job to job.
Yeah, they like it's a crew.
Right.
That goes around.
But it's not always the same crew even. Like, but their union kind of works, I guess, like the Screenwriters Guild, like the Actors Union, where it's more like the construction union is so that like if an electrician goes something at this job and then he goes next week and he's on another job and the week after that he's on another job site, he's still getting the same pay because it's the union makes sure you're bringing in union guys, you're paying them you're paying them a set amount. So that's why the union for construction guys makes a lot of sense in that fact because it's not like, well, this week I'm making $800, this week I'm making $300, this week I'm that way that's how they keep that all kind of
because they have different employers week to week.
right. They
month to month.
contractors bring them in to do a job, so that's how they do that. Like Evansville's union for construction, Jasper's not. I remember when we worked at McDonald's, like when they had the McDonald's built in Evansville, they had to use a union crew, which was a different crew that they came in to remodel the Ferdinand store because that was non-union. McDonald's actually had different construction crews for union and not union.
But like I wouldn't want a union in like was that blue collar or white collar?
White collar.
I wouldn't want to see a union in like a white collar work setting. It just doesn't make sense to me.
Your mom's mom, your grandmother on your mom's side, when she worked at Blue Cross Blue Shield in New Jersey, she was in a union, and that's a white collar kind of.
Yeah, but I think she said she hated it.
Yeah, but that's also I don't know what they're.
I just think it makes a lot more sense for like jobs like automotive industry and stuff like that because how possible is it for you to really talk to someone higher up?
Right.
Like you get there, you're working, and like
it's not that hard. The big benefit for a union, especially for something like that, is you've got union representatives which are on your side.
Mm-hmm.
Like a lot of times management, especially like the lower management, will be like, oh, we're on your side, this and that. But if it comes down to what you want or what the management above them wants, they're going to go with the management above them. They're not really on your side. They may plead your case a little bit, but when
they're on your side until it comes for them.
Yeah, they're on your side until someone gives them a problem from up above. I'm lucky enough, the area I work in, that I know the managers directly above me, the team leaders have at least once that I know of, have kind of stood up for me in a certain instance. So I'm very thankful for that, but it doesn't necessarily have to be that way. That's depends on who you got. And if you have a union, you've always got someone that can
Their
represent
job
you.
is to be on your side.
Yeah. So, but I do think with the way things are going with the economy and the pay being out of whack, that there definitely is more of a place for a union now than there was 10, 15 years ago. And I mean, I'm not pro-union where I'm at right now, but I could see, depending how this pans out and what they do about how our company responds, I can see myself leaning towards a union in the spring. You know,
like if they get their 40% increase and you don't
yeah.
get
If they
anything.
get a 46% increase, then I get like 2%. I'd be like, hey, wait a minute.
Yeah, hold on. We're doing the same job here.
Yeah. So anyway,
Are
I don't
we
even know
watching
what
the
he was
rest
talking
of this
about.
video?
I don't know. We don't have to. I think it's like an 8-minute video.
Yeah, it is.
All right.
All right, that was our 45-minute tangent on unions.
Yeah.
I guess this isn't really a tangent. Let's go over something smaller for the last bit here. Let's go over Unity.
Yeah, I have no idea what this is.
Okay, so Unity is a game engine. It is a video game engine. It is a very popular one.
Okay.
Like, people can make, like,
Anything,
basic
pretty much.
game developers, like one person in their basement making a game, they'll use Unity. It's easy to work with.
Right.
They have their own, like, store of assets that you can easily use and make your own thing. Even big companies, like their Pokemon games,
Kind of like a website template.
kind of like that,
Or you-
except
Except
like
for
it's
video
an
games.
engine for
Right,
making
but I'm
games.
saying
Yeah,
it's the
so, like,
backbone where you can
yes.
add
yes.
you can
Yeah.
add elements and
And like all the most recent Pokemon games use
Yeah.
Unity.
Because Pokemon's a big company, Nintendo. They
Right.
like making money and not
Mhm.
people getting in their way. Like Pokemon games use Unity. I forget what other examples, but like a lot of
A lot of
recent
like, big
AAA
names.
big games use Unity because even if they use it in a small way,
right.
most things use Unity. And what Unity is doing now is they're saying we are adding a fee per install of your game.
And
So
not
if-
not
so-
just
so if
for
I-
the
No, I
initial
get
install
it,
either.
yeah.
So you release game on Unity, and I buy it.
I love game.
I love game. Game is a good game. So
Yeah,
I
fantastic
buy
game.
your game, all right? So you get your profit off of that. But then I just keep deleting it and reinstalling it and deleting it and reinstalling it. And after a certain point, Unity is charging you for that.
Wow.
Not even for that. Like that first install, you get to add.
No,
anyways
there's
also.
a limit to it.
Okay.
It's after a certain number of installs.
Yeah, but
you will
still.
get paid. You will get charged per install.
Like, and if you use the free version, it's like 5 cents per install.
But I mean, if you have even a semi-popular game, that's
That's a lot.
and people install games more often than they buy them. Because I can buy a game and I can just sit there and delete it and reinstall it all day if I wanted to.
Right.
Unity is saying no, you're gonna pay us for that.
Wow.
So I really don't see this going well for Unity because of how many money-hungry big game developers use Unity.
Yeah.
Like, you go after Nintendo's wallet, they're not
Yeah.
happy about that. They shut down, like, fan games
all the time.
that don't make money.
Wow.
It's just like a fan
Yeah.
project, just saying, like, oh, I made this cool little thing. Nintendo says, no, get rid of it right now.
Yeah, Nintendo's
And if
lawyers.
you don't get rid of it immediately, they sue you. They take you to court.
Yeah,
'Cause
Nintendo's
they have
lawyers
to pay
are
the fee.
notorious for
Well,
how.
this is not even dealing with Unity.
Right.
This
Okay.
is just saying if you make your entirely own Pokemon fan game, you're not making money off of it. You give the credit to Nintendo. You put all the copyrights on there. This is Nintendo's product.
Right.
Nintendo will still say, take it down now. And if
Wow.
you don't, you're taken to court.
Yeah, Nintendo's lawyers are.
They are notorious for this.
Nefarious? Were you going to say nefarious?
They're notorious for this. Like, there are certain
I mean, that too.
Nintendo games that are like considered classics. One I could think of is Mother 3. And it was only ever released in Japan. So people have tried to make like English translations,
Mhm.
and if Nintendo finds it, they will shut it down.
Wow.
Yeah, they do not like people messing with their anything.
Cool.
So I really don't see Unity getting very far with this.
No.
No.
No,
So yeah. So how? I mean,
because like Microsoft uses Unity, Sony uses
it's
Unity.
it's almost like you putting up a website, and the website host charging you for every time someone opens the website.
Yeah.
Every time someone hits refresh.
Right. Yeah. That's totally.
And
That's
This is really feels like Unity saying, let's see how far we can push capitalism. Let's see how far we can push this and how much money we can make off of these corporations.
Now, I know a few like game developers who use Unity, and they say that they are probably going to push something along like with this.
Push something?
Like they're gonna like push something like in like kind of like how like the government like adds a whole bunch of like stuff to like a bill, and like the bill is named something completely different. Like they think that Unity is gonna do something similar to that with that.
I have no idea what you're saying.
So you know how the current government likes to push out bills with like a name, like about a
No.
thing.
I didn't know they even named bills.
Well, like the Inflation Reduction Act, which had nothing to do with inflation
That.
reduction.
Okay.
It's like that. Like they think that Unity is gonna do something like similar with this.
But Unity has said what this is. They've blind out what it is.
But still,
Like, there's no confusion. It's called the runtime fee, but they've described it. They've said this will charge you per install. They have not been shy about what it is.
Yeah.
They have straight up said, we will charge you per install. There are games that are currently being hosted on sites like Cult of the Lamb on Steam. If this gets through, they are pulling their game off of Steam.
Yeah.
Because they don't want to deal with it. And I don't blame them.
No.
and I know a lot of people are also trying to very hurriedly port the game over
To a
Unreal,
different engine.
to like mostly Unreal.
Yeah, yeah, because Unreal's another big engine, and they're not doing this.
Right.
They cost more to use Unreal because it's a better, more powerful engine.
Costs more up front.
Yes, but they're not doing this.
Oh yeah. But I mean, what's the price difference between like Unity and that one?
You know what? Let's do
I mean,
some looking up right now.
I could almost kind of see if they're like ridiculously cheap, like we're giving it away, but we're going to take some on the back end kind of deal.
But even then, it's per install.
No, I get it, but I mean, if it's like I'm talking like fractions of a penny per install kind of deal.
Okay, let's see. It looks like the license to use Unity 3D is you can either pay them $1,500 or $75 a month.
That's a lot.
That's a lot.
So that
so that's renting a license. You do not own your license, even if you've paid for 20 months, which is their total price.
Right.
You must commit to at least a year, but you don't have to pay the full year up front. Monthly add-ons for... Okay, so you can get their paid add-ons
get all
for
the
an
add-ons.
additional $75 a month.
No, I think they're saying it's at the same. It's built into the same price. I don't think that's an additional.
You can get the paid add-ons.
I think it's worded weird, but I think they're saying the same $75 gets you the add-ons.
There
Okay.
is a personal copy of Unity for free.
Yes, but you probably can't publish anything you do with that.
Right.
That's the difference. And this is saying even if you get an add-on, then your contract, essentially what this is, re-ups for 12 months from that moment.
Yeah. If you, I mean, it's 15. Yeah. So 20 months. So 2 years, less than 2 years, you would have the $1,500 in.
But you
So-
still don't own the license.
Right.
So you would still, if you didn't want to keep paying per month, you would still have to shell out $1,500 to buy it.
So as long as
Well, that's what
the
I'm saying.
project for Unity, if you use the free version of Unity and it makes less than $100,000 within the last 12 months,
If
You
your
can
revenue
still
from
use it.
projects in conjunction with your use of Unity is less than $100,000 in the last 12 months, you can use Unity Personal for free.
There you go. Because if you're making that much money, then the $1,500 isn't a big
Yeah.
deal.
So let's see how much it costs to use Unreal.
But I'm saying, like, so a year and a half, if you're planning on using it for at least a year and a half, it'd just be cheaper to get to pay the $1,500 up front.
Correct.
Whoa.
Okay. It is free to get started for game development, but a 5% royalty kicks in only after you've earned $1 million.
Keep going.
5% royalty is due only if you are distributing an off-the-shelf product that incorporates Unreal code. Final budget developed on Unreal. Okay, so this is game budget. This is not how
Right.
much Unreal costs, but the budget should be about $35,000 to $85,000. But it depends on complexity and all that. So it's free to use. Premium support. Yes, I want to know how much it costs to if I want to just go full bore on this.
By the way, if you're watching on YouTube, the title of the stream is wrong. I tried to change it, but I don't know, for some reason I think I didn't update it in the restream. So it's stuck with last week's title. But I'll change that after we're done.
Products. Unreal Engine 5.
Engine
Yeah,
number
we're on 5. Yep. Let me scroll.
And a couple years later, release 6.
I heard there's a new Grand Theft Auto coming out.
They're
is.
working on it.
Yeah, and that's it's a great funny thing. So Rockstar promised a majority of the US of A in the game. They're only doing a small section.
Okay,
Oh.
well, Rockstar promises things. We don't pay attention to what they promise.
And they're also, I don't know how true it is or not,
Customized
but
some of it.
there's rumors going on that it's going to cost like $150 for the game.
No. No one's going to buy that.
Exactly.
No one is going to spend $150 on a base game. I know that game prices have gone up and that the game industry sucks, but it has not gotten that bad yet. Okay, free to download and use. You get all of its tools, features, and C++ source code. Publishing a game. So once it hits $1 million, you get your 5% royalty fee that they take, due each quarter as long as they remain for sale, or it continues to generate more than $10,000 a quarter. Large developers can negotiate a custom license. Enterprise program for non-games professionals seeking premium level support, about $1,500 per
year.
seat per
Yeah.
year.
So the $1,500 for the other one was you're buying it.
Yes, and this is $1,500 per person per year, and you get support, training, custom license terms.
Right.
But it looks like if you're a large company wanting to use Unreal to make games, you have to talk to them about how much that's going to cost.
Right. So it's quite a bit more. Really.
It's probably going to end up costing you more. But yeah, either way.
My thing was like if Unity was like completely free, like a open source, or if it was like a ridiculously like $25 a month, then I could see them making a point for okay, whatever you do publish, we get a piece of what you.
Well, yeah,
what they download.
if they
but
added royalties.
But how much are they looking to collect for that? Because I'm thinking like, are we talking like
So,
royalties on a song where when Spotify plays a song, the artist gets like a fraction of a penny. So like, it has to be a lot of plays for that song for any decent money.
it's somewhere around here that has an actual chart for it all.
Who's charged? Probably somewhere in this area. Nope.
And how is an install defined? Yeah, okay, great.
So yeah, basically, any install.
Yeah, any
Yeah.
install on the
I
end
think it's
user's
actually under
device.
who does it. One-time fee.
No, this is
Yeah, there's a chart
will
here.
apply to games that have made $200,000 in the last 12 months and have at least 200,000 per game installed lifetime. That's
There's a
on
chart.
that's on the personal, the free one.
Right.
If you have Unity Pro
That's
or Enterprise,
basically half of that.
games that have made $1 million and have at least 1 million per game installs.
Here's the actual
So
how much it costs per install.
No, this is eligibility. This
It's
is still.
eligibility.
Oh, here we go. Okay, so
oh,
it's-
that's not cheap.
No.
Well,
Well, it is here.
so
Enterprise.
if you're using Unity Personal,
right.
if you're using the free version, no matter what, if your game gets over
And
200,000,
so this is on top of the other,
If you even
yeah.
get
So
one
this is
install,
Unity Personal is free
unless you make more than
unless you make
200,000.
more than 100,000. in
Right.
12 months. And then if you make 200,000 and you have 200,000 downloads lifetime, ever,
Right.
but you've made more than $200,000 in the last year, then they're charging you 20 cents per clicking install
Wow.
on some guy across the planet's computer.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's only for the free version.
Now,
The
I don't know
Pro
what
and
that
Enterprise
means.
have their
I don't know
own.
what emerging market rate means. I'm not going to pretend to understand.
Yeah.
But
But that's not retroactive though, right?
let's see. Does this apply to Unity games that are already on the market?
Yes.
Yes.
No, what I'm saying, once you reach that limit, they don't go back and say, okay, now you
No,
owe us
per
all this
new
money.
install.
Right. So
So you don't
you've
get,
already made a bulk of your money.
yes.
I got
But
it.
the problem there is, if someone, again, you can just sit there and hit install, delete,
Right.
install,
No, I
delete.
get that. But if you're making that much money,
But what if you make $200,000 and one penny in a year, and you have 200,000 installs,
so
and then for the next year, you just don't make any money because no one else is buying it.
but then you're not paying the install fee because no one's installing
Yeah,
it.
but people are gonna. But there are people who will
Hmm.
uninstall it and then reinstall it later.
No, I get
I
that.
mean, okay,
But I
there's
mean, if you're making, first of all, if you're making that kind of money, why aren't you upgrading to a pro? Like, if you're still on the free version and you're making that kind of money, you're an idiot.
but
first of all.
you've also already ended up paying them once
Which
you,
is what I'm
once you got to
saying.
100,000.
But you're going to end up paying a lot more in the royalty fees
Mhm.
because the royalty fees for the pro is less than a penny per install. Whereas if you're on the free version, you're paying 20 cents per install. So if you're on the free version, especially once you get over 1 million, you're only paying.
Oh, this is per month. The breakdown here is
Yeah.
how many per month. So at the first 100,000 downloads in a month, they're
Yeah.
still doing a penny and then some.
Yeah, although the
or
enterprise is really
15
cheap.
cents.
The enterprise is really cheap.
Yeah, it is.
But you understand what I'm saying? Like if you're making 200,000, was that a month or was that for a year? I think it
This
was for a year.
is
That's
for the
per month.
last 12
Yeah.
months if you have made $200,000.
Why are you still using the free version?
Either way, I think this is a dumb way that they're trying to get royalties.
Yeah.
I think if they just go the way
Unreal.
Unreal did it, where once you hit this certain revenue, give us a percentage,
Right.
and we'll take that percentage a quarter as long as you're making that revenue.
It sounds like they're trying to not do what Unreal is. Like it just
Yeah.
sounds like they're trying to find another way to not be Unreal. Like
But they have done this in just a really dumb way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No one,
Yeah.
like, even
And this-
if,
yeah.
like, there's no way.
and it's way too complicated.
Yeah, it's
Like
complicated.
why you got to make it so
It
complicated?
sounds bad.
Yeah.
Like, looking at the chart, it's not as bad as I thought it was initially. I'll give it that.
Yeah.
But
Could
it's
you
still,
imagine if they're like, okay, once you hit 200,000, we're going to go back and everybody who's installed it, now you have to pay us for that. That would
God.
be like
that? Ugh. But yeah, like does this apply to web and streaming games? Not
Yes.
going to count web and streaming games. Does it
Okay,
apply to
that's-
charity offers? Any installs driven by charities or charity? How will you know?
It's how it's
I'm,
sold.
I'm
Yeah.
sure they have things for that.
They track it, stuff like that, especially on like Steam or whatever.
Will developers be charged the runtime fee for subscription-based games? No, because the developer is not distributing it.
What?
Oh, okay. If you get the game for free as part of
Ah.
Apple Arcade, Game Pass, PlayStation Plus,
Okay.
etc.,
Gotcha.
then they're not charged.
Okay.
So does it apply to pirated copies? That doesn't answer the question.
As long as they have proof that it's pirated.
No, because you don't download the pirated copy from the developer,
Mm-hmm.
so I don't think that would count. They're not going to charge you for the download because you didn't get the download from them or from a reputable source. Don't forget, if you're watching, thumbs up,
Mhm.
like, share, subscribe, all
We're
that
not
fun
going to
stuff.
charge a fee for install bombing.
Okay, so if you get a bunch
Okay.
of people to sit there and install and delete a game, they can contact Unity and be like, "Hey, come on,
Yeah.
come on."
Different devices, different
Yeah, so it's
installs.
definitely not as bad as thought so at first. I'll give it that. But
Like
it's
I-
still
like I
just
said,
a really
it sounds
dumb
like they're
way.
just
Very
trying.
dumb.
It sounds like they're going out of their way to find a way to do something a different way than Unreal did it.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
trying to charge royalties in a new, weird way.
Yeah,
It's dumb. It's
exactly.
so dumb. Anything else?
I got nothing.
No, I'm good. Look at that.
Look
Been
at
an
that.
hour already. Thank
Talked
you all
about
for listening.
Unions for 50 minutes.
Huh?
We talked about unions for like 50 minutes.
And then Unity for a little bit. Yeah, I think it was good. Thank everybody for watching.
Thank you very much.
listening.
I
Uh,
get-
What?
I don't know either. Don't worry about it. Keep going.
What did you say?
I think he said gibberish.
I didn't say gibberish.
Already then?
Don't forget to like.
Yes.
Don't forget to subscribe, follow,
Number go
share,
up.
share with your friends.
Number
yes.
go up.
And pull up the last week we had our biggest week ever. We had 256 views
65.
/ listens. 65, sorry. It was 56 plus the 9 listens.
Our biggest week so far. We broke
Biggest week so far.
200.
We broke 200,
by a good
smashed
amount.
200, blew it out of the water. So
Nice.
let's go for 300.
Thank
this
you,
week,
everybody.
hopefully.
Appreciate you listening to us gibber on about nothing.
Yes, we jibber jabber. We will be back next Sunday
Which will be
at the time.
next Sunday, the 24th of September. Same
Why are
bat
you
time,
clapping?
same bat channel.
Please be coming back.
Hold on.
What are you,
What are we doing?
Huh?
what are you
Oh,
doing
I
over
just
there?
want to see if we're on here.
Why?
Huh?
Why?
For fun.
Yeah. Live. I want to see where we're at on Rumble on live streams.
I'm not saying
Come,
this at
keep
all.
going.
Would I ever know?
I don't see us.
I don't see us on there either.
How dare they?
How
Did I not? Maybe because I put us under entertainment. Maybe I should put us under podcasts. No, I put us under podcasts.
Just hit live up there.
Yeah, there's a lot
A lot of trash.
of categories.
That's
I don't want
gaming.
gaming.
That's
Yeah, I know.
We're not gaming.
I didn't want
They have
gaming
gaming on Rumble?
categories.
Gaming streams.
On Rumble?
News,
Yeah, because Rumble
entertainment.
is a lot less restricting than YouTube and Twitch.
Yes, YouTube and Twitch. Let's see, entertainment.
There it
Hey,
is.
you just passed us.
Where?
The Mexican aliens go on strike. Upright.
Popeye.
Oh, there we are. Cool.
Here we are.
We're in the
Except for
top
our podcast.
3, 6, 9, 12.
We are in the top 12
Top 12.
entertainment streams on
Entertainment.
Rumble right now.
Yes.
Thanks to
And on YouTube,
thanks to you.
we're dated last week. 'Cause I'm stupid. I forgot to change the title up here.
It's okay.
Yes.
No one cares about YouTube,
It's
right?
fine. So yeah, we will have this up on Spotify and iTunes later on tonight. Shouldn't take me long now that I've got my cheat way of doing it.
Really treat if it's how it's meant to be.
Not really. Yeah, it's not really a cheat. It's just I
Yeah.
figured out how to do it
Yeah,
without,
it's
without running it through
It's not a bug, it's a
website to
feature.
strip the audio from the video.
Who said you can't teach an old dog new tricks?
Yeah, I imagine Restream's got that built in.
Incredible.
So yeah, we'll have that up later, and I don't know. I guess that's it. Next week maybe we'll touch on the those other two videos are kind of funny. The one's a story, one's a video. They're just kind of funny, haha. Do not watch the airplane misgender one. It's got a twist at the end.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll
Okay.
save
Which
that
is
for
the
next
only
week.
reason I put it on there, because I want you to see your reaction before and after the twist is revealed.
Okay, I'll save it. I'll save it for next week.
What
Alright.
video?
Exactly.
Thank you, everybody.
Yes, thank you for
Thank
watching.
you.
Thank you for listening. If you're listening later on this week, check us out on Sunday Live, and you can be there when it happens. I
We
don't
should
know.
actually be at 5 o'clock next week.
Yes, we will
per
be
our
back to
normal
5
schedule.
o'clock next week. I will not be at Holiday World next week. So they say. So everybody have a great week, and take care.